Class, sit.
Sit.
I was just wondering, I couldn't remember how to say always.
Zezemeza adigebzucha sopsahla. What problema we ash? Ay, ay, ay. Hey everybody, join my free online Circassian classes. Spread the word, like, comment, subscribe, and follow me for more updates. Welcome everyone, this is Jonty. Today is Monday, December 12th. We're here on our Circassian classes for our North American students and people who have an affinity for North America, since I know there's some of you who are outside of North America at the moment. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Awesome. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So first, I'm going to do a walkthrough of today's lesson. For those of you who are following asynchronously or offline or on YouTube or whatever, we're going to try to keep these videos as short and on point as possible. This is a continuation of what we did in our last class. So some of this will be review and some of this will be new. Okay. So the walkthrough, this is our micro story. Salem nibzoch yes. Salem nibzoch yes. Sa cs wa we s b yes. Then when I ask a question, sa sia wa we b yeah. Plan. Sa plan cs. Whoopsa. Wa whoopsa we s. Problema. B problema yes. And then in today's class, we're going to be doing some adjectives that describe these nouns. Yahaza. Yahaza. Tinsh. Tinsh. Qizriqwach. Qizriqwach. Reem.
Yes.
When I say your name, you say sit.
Sit.
Reem.
Sit.
Ah. And who is the other volunteer?
Dana.
Dana. Dana.
Sit.
Ah. Reem. Dana. Salem nibzoch yes. Ooh. Salem nibzoch yes. The boy has a friend. Sa plan cs. Ooh. Sa plan cs. Reem.
What am I supposed to say?
Sit.
Sit.
Reem.
Sit.
Wa whoopsa we s. Ooh. Wa whoopsa we s. Dana.
Sit.
Wa problema we s. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Wa problema we s. Okay. So this is our micro story. We all understand. The boy has a friend. I have a plan. Reem has a question and Dana has a problem, right? And for those of you who are new to the class or who have not been here before, what you have on the screen are all of the ingredients for us to have a very robust conversation about this story. And I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask you first, yes or no questions. And you can answer with inta, which is yes, or hawa, which is no, or you can make a full sentence answer. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. Then I'm going to ask you either or questions, okay? So does the boy have a problem or does he have a friend, right? And remember, you're thinking about the story. You want to answer with the story, and all of the answers for you to construct, all the ingredients to construct a grammatically correct answer are on the screen. And then finally, I'll ask you a what question or a who question. What does the boy have? Who has a problem? So on and so forth. That's the format of our class. Is that clear, Reem and Dana? Yeah? Okay. So just again, a review of the characters in the story. Salem nibzoch yes. Sa plan cs. Riem, whoopsa, yes. Dana, problema, yes. Ooh. Okay. Riem,
Sit.
sa problema sia.
Hawa.
Hawa, sa plan sia.
Hawa.
Sa plan sias.
Oh, what
Right?
plan we us?
Sa plan sias. Riem, wa plan wia.
Hawa.
Hawa, wa nabzo wia.
Hawa.
Whoopsa wia.
Mta.
And well, whoopsa wias. Pez, correct, pez. Dana,
Sit.
wa whoopsa wia.
Hawa.
Oh,
Sa wupsha si ashum.
sa whoopsa si
Wupsha si akum. Si akum.
akam. Sa
Sa.
whoopsa si akam.
Wupsha si akum.
Wa nabzo wia.
Hawa. Sa nibjag si akum.
Sit wia.
Sa problema si ash.
Wa problema wias. Ay, ay, ay. Problema wias. Sa nabzo sia hamra or hamra plan sia.
Wa plan we ash.
Sa plan sias. Riem,
Sit.
salem nabzo ya hamra problema ya.
Shalom nibjagu yash.
Salem nabzo yas. Pez. Sa nabzo sia.
Hawa.
Sit
Wa
sia.
nibjagu ya. What plan we
Sa plan sias.
plan we us?
Sit sia. Sit. Tell me
What-
again. Sit sia.
What plan we us?
Sa plan si. What do you plan we
Hawa.
What sit we
Sa ups si us.
Well, whoopsa we us. Dana whoopsa ya.
Hawa. Dana problema yash.
Dana problema yes. Het nabzo ya.
Shalar nibjagu yash.
Salem nabzo yes. Het plan ya.
What plan we us?
What plan we
Hawa.
What sit
Sa
we
ups si us.
What whoopsie we us. Dana.
Sit.
Het problema ya.
Sa problema si ash.
What problema we us. Ay, ay, ay.
I just have a question about how you would add prim or not to like, I guess, the end of your question, or how you would attach it to the verb or whatever it is.
Sure. So I'll use a very simple example. Sa nabzo si us. I have a friend. So to make this, I do not have a friend, I add qum to the verb, but I do not use ish. We add in Eastern Circassian, which is what we're learning, we add ish at the end of a statement that we are making. Okay. Sa nabzo si us. To make it negative, I say sa nabzo si aqm. And for those of you who grew up in the diaspora, as I did, you might also hear si aqm. They say this in Nalchik as well. This is also acceptable. Sa nabzo si aqm. Perfectly acceptable. Also acceptable, sa nabzo si as. Lots of Circassians speak with that pronunciation. This is perfectly acceptable. We still spell it the way it's spelled in the lesson, but we can say it this way as well.
So just to make sure, when you have shalem and the bjah you add the ending m. You don't add it to names. For example, you wouldn't say Margarita mbjah.
No,
It's just for the nouns.
just for nouns.
Okay, thank you.
And it's built into pronouns as well, but you don't put it on. You would never add or to a name.
All right.
Santi, the word hamara, can that be shortened to hama?
Yeah, hamra and hama are both acceptable. I've heard both.
Okay.
Yeah, I say it hamra because I'm book taught. I learned from reading books, so I speak the way the books write.
So when you say sa nabjor CS, that's totally okay in the homeland, like that. That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to go. You don't have to end it with the esh necessarily.
No,
So,
whatever you're comfortable with.
Yes, so when just returning to the previous question from Margarita, so if you trying to say that this friend is Margarita's friend, the same as I am daughter of, let's say, Muayyad, when I say I'm Muayyadim Yip, oh, would we?
Sa mu'ayyid yibqus. Sa mu'ayyid yibqus.
So you don't change, you don't add them at the end of the.
No.
Okay, so it's not okay. So the say would be for Margarita would be Margarita's nabjagh.
Mir Margarita Yinibzaus.
Okay, got it.
This
Okay.
is Margarita's friend.
So you add to the friends rather than to the person who that friend belongs to. So
What
to the
you're talking
word.
about adding the ish.
Ish, yeah.
Mir
Okay.
Margarita Yinibzaus. So now we're going into the second part of the class, and here we're going to talk about how we add adjectives to a sentence. So what I'm going to do is read you again these adjectives here, and then I'll give you a couple of examples. All right. So yahajja, yahajja, awesome. Tinsh, tinsh. Qizraqwach, qizraqwach. Okay, so we'll practice this. And the way that we add adjectives to a sentence in Circassian, Eastern and Western, we put the adjective after the noun. Okay, so for example, sa plan yahajja si'ash wa wupsa tinsh wi'ash ab problema qizraqach yi'ash. So the adjective always goes after the noun. Okay, we're going to practice in a bit, but first I'm going to pause the video again. All right, everyone. So we are now going to do a practice for those of you watching at home or wherever you watch. That's your business, not mine. Of the second part of the lesson, we have two students. Sorry, we have two students who are going to be practicing with us. We have Lera and we have Inal. Okay, so let's just get into this. First, let's just make sure we have the ground rules here. So, Salam nabzal yes. In the micro story, Salam nabzal yes. Sa plan sias. Okay, and Lera wupsa yes. Inal problema yes. Sorry to give you problems, Inal. Now we're going to layer in adjectives. In Circassian, the adjectives go after the noun. Okay, like Russian, not sure about Turkish or Arabic, I forget. So we're just going to go, whoever has the plan, which is me, is going to have this type of plan. Whoever has the wupsa, which is Lera, is going to have this type of wupsa. And whoever has problema is going to have this type of problema. And for those of you following at home, this is a little bit of a mouthful, this verb, this adjective here. So we're going to do a system called back chaining so you can practice. So this word, just listen. Listen again. Class.
Sit.
Sit
is a way.
Sit is a where. Salam nabzal yes.
What?
What? Such a bird. What'd you say? Sa plan sias.
Wow.
Wow. Sa plan yahajja sias.
Wow.
Not going to tell you what kind because it's so awesome. It'll blow your mind. Okay.
No way.
No way. Awa sa plan يحجى سياش.
Mm.
Lera.
ست
وبستنش ويأس.
Oh.
وبستنش ويأس.
انت
انت ينال.
Sit.
وبروبليما قزرقوش ويأس.
Oh.
Okay.
أفدتكم.
راشي ليرة.
ست
سا بلانتنش سيئة.
هوا
هوا.
و بلان يخرج ويأش.
Pej. Correct. سا بلان يحجى سيئش. ينال.
سجنتي.
وبروبليما تنش ويئة.
How se problema tens si akın. Se problema kızırıkwaç si aş.
Pej. وبروبليما قزرقوش ويأش. ليرة.
ست
سا بلان يحجى حمرا بلان تنش سيئة.
و بلان يخرج ويأش.
بج. سا بلان يحجى سيئش. و بلان يحجى ويئة ليرة.
هوا و وبش تنش سيأش.
وبشة تنش ويئش. بج.
ست
ينال.
Sit.
خت بروبليما قزرقوش يئة.
Sari. Se problema kızırıkwaç si aş.
بروبليما قزرقوش ويئش. سا بلان قزرقوش سيئة.
How و plan yahajja wi aş.
Pej. Sa plan يحجى سيئش. خت وبشة يئة.
Lera wubşe yi aş. Lera
ست خد وبشة.
wubşe tınş.
وبشة تنش. ليرة.
ست
خت بروبليما يئة.
إنال проблема يأش.
ينال بروبليما يئش. ست خد بروبليما.
إنال проблема كزرقواج يأش.
ينال بروبليما قزرقوش يئش.
Actually, I have. Can I quickly ask you? So that complex word, the word regular, at the end when you spell it, right? Which
Yeah.
there is no D, there is no Z. The letters there is nothing in this that would make a sound z at the end. Is that the normal combination of the letters that would sound like in the other words? Would I find something like that would spell the same way, but the sonic pronunciation would be z at the end? So when you pronounce that the word,
Yeah.
it says G, English Y, Russian U, and then K, and the letter like I.
Yeah.
There is no palochka. There is no z sound there.
No.
Is it a letter like in an alphabet? Is there a letter that represents that sound z?
There's no z at the end of that word. So in Circassian, this letter that you see, there's two symbols that you see at the end of this. The one that looks like a K and one that looks like a number one. This is called palochka, right? And at Digabza, we call it bash, which just means a stick. And when these two letters come, when these two symbols come together, they make a new letter, which is just t. It can also be pronounced as So this word can be said or
Me and Lera were just wondering, I couldn't remember how to say always.
Sitim deji.
Deji. I remember sometimes. I can't forget that. This is amazing.
Doesn't miss it.
Yeah, just quick question, Janti. I was trying to look for the videos you are uploading. Are they on YouTube?
Yeah, in our group, we were also wondering how to say what kind, like what kind of problem.
ستخوده.
Okay, that's what I know.
Problema ستخوده وياه.
Hope so.
بسويش.
Now here where it says ab yush ab ye. Like how, if you use the word ab, you don't put a name. Like, can I say, let's for example, ab janti plan yeah.
No.
No?
No. That would be
Okay.
like saying Jaunty him plan he has.
Okay. So janti plan yeah. That's it. Either ab. So ab in this case, like if I'm not gonna mention a name, so it's gonna be I'm talking about third person.
Yeah. It's a pronoun.
I have a really random one because I was asking my parents about it over the weekend and they weren't able to give me an answer. But you know how in Arabic, if you want to use honorifics with like an older person, you would say ammo or khato. What is the equivalent of that in Circassian? Like
We
if I
don't
want to
have
be
it.
respectful.
We don't have it. No. So it was shocking to me when I went to visit homeland for the first time and I had cousins my age calling my father Sammy. My father's name is Sammy. So we do not have honorifics in Circassian. However, if you want to be fancy schmancy, that's the official term. If you want to be fancy schmancy, you can say sie was han. So sie was han means, it translates roughly to Mr. Okay, so when I'm speaking to my son and I want to be super fancy to him, I'm like, sie was han wasman was sit. Mr. Osman, what is it you would like? And the equivalent for a woman would be guasha, which means princess, but it could also be used as Mrs. But if you are speaking to an elder family member, there's no honorific that you would use. You would just address them by their name. Now, actually, that's not 100% true. Having said that, in Circassian culture, it was always common that everyone would have nicknames. So there would be your birth name, then there would be a different name that your family would call you, and then there would be a third name that you would be called by your in-laws. And so the closest thing that we have to honorifics would be by what name you were called. And if you called somebody by their birth name when you weren't supposed to, that could be seen as an insult.
So they don't have I didn't understand the Arabic part, but I think it's like in Turkish we'll have uncle or aunt, right? Like as an honor. Is that what you mean? They don't have that?
No.
Or sister or brother. They don't say that to an older person?
No.
Oh,
No.
wow. I'm really surprised.
So for example, in Arabic, my aunt on my father's side is going to be Ato or Amto, right? And my uncle on my father's side is going to be Ammo. And my aunt on my mother's side is going to be Khalto. And my uncle will be Khalo, right? So these are the honorifics that she's talking about. And Americans would say Uncle Jack, Aunt Suzanne, right? Whatever. In Circassian, we don't have this. We would just say Jack or Suzanne, or we would use a nickname depending on, how old school your family is or not is. And that's what we would do.
What if it's like not someone related to you, but you're at an event and it's like a stranger, but an older person, like you don't know their name, but you want to be respectful. You want to say like, hi, how are you? Ammo or whatever, but in Circassian, no equivalent.
No equivalent. You would just not. You would just not use their name. Dawshit.
Janti, what about Siyadashar, Siyanashar? What that?
This is just saying Mirsia Nashkwash, Mirsia Nashkwash, Mirsia Deshkwash. This is my grandmother, this is my grandfather. And yes, if you're speaking to your grandfather or your grandmother, you would say Nana or you would say Dada. This is if you are speaking to them, like when my children are in Nalchik, my father-in-law passed away many years ago, but my mother-in-law is still alive. They call her Nana. And when we talk about my wife's husband, we refer to him as Dada. and they will address their grandmother as Nana in the same way that you would address your mother as Mama, right? So yes, for parents, we have this term. You're going to call them Mama or Anna or Ada or Papa or Baba or whatever. And we have this for grandparents, but uncles and aunts, older people, there's no real pattern to it. There's no real words that we would use. We would just use their name or not use their name.
Also, since the one that you would use for miss, and it also means princess, how would you say prince?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes, I was wondering, Kuzuragwech. It sounds so familiar. I have to ask my parents, but is there any other meaning for it other than regular?
If you say something's happening, okay, so the meeting is happening, right? Right now, the meeting is happening. Egypt'u za ushar because the last part of it, gwachin, means to take place. Okay, so it's possible you've heard right, to take place, to happen. But all by itself, it just means that one thing. Sometimes I speak Circassian.
Okay.
But does it mean sometimes?
It means sometimes all the time.
Ah, sometimes all the time.
That was a joke.
Oh.
It always means that word. It means sometimes.